All right, we are back, and that road that we are walking with Agatha Harkness continues on.
Hmm?
I'm invested. I'm invested. I am way invested in this show for so many reasons. I'm liking this horror aspect. They decided to really jump on. This is a perfect vehicle for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, mm, whoopty. We got to start with the lady of the house for the camp right now. Did you watch it?
Well, I did. I did.
Yeah.
I could see that what they're probably going to do going forward is that each trial is based on the witch, and we're going to get stuck up on the green one. We all know why.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked. I had a couple of questions. I mean, some of the stuff that they brought up was, spot on what we were talking about in the chat earlier in the week, last week.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it. I like what I'm watching, and I would like
I
to see more.
I have a thought
Mm-hmm.
because so Aubrey Plaza's character is they keep saying, "Oh, she's Lady Death." Like, no, she's the green. She's the Green Witch.
Mm-hmm.
She's the Green
Yeah,
Witch.
she was supposed to be who I'm just gonna
Sharon.
call her. I'm just calling her Mrs. Foreman because she's
Yeah.
clearly just a variant of Red's wife and Eric Foreman's mom. Because
I am so glad it wasn't just me.
as fast as she went to the wine and not on the upholstery, I'm like, this is just
I love
Mrs.
this
Foreman.
Mrs. Foreman.
She literally went into her That 70 Show's character right there. Says witches are not always. I was like, I just need Red Foreman just to come through and just be annoyed that people are in his house. That's what I need right now. But no, it was interesting. And then, also at the same time, you people out there, I'm pretty sure you guys are happy now since a name got mentioned.
Oh my God! Less than an hour after it dropped, the amount of thumbnails that hit my feed.
Mm-hmm.
They did that
Real
on
quick.
purpose.
So, let's fix that there. Okay. So yeah, Rio Vidal is the Green Witch.
Mm-hmm.
That is it right there. They keep saying, "Oh, it's Lady Death." It's not Lady Death. It's not. However, don't ask me how I know. It's just I'm paying attention to the details. But right, you're right. The minute Mephisto was mentioned,
Oh, crickets. I'm sorry. Crickets is the wrong word. Fireflies lit up like freaking Christmas trees.
Ew, he said, she said it, she said
I said, I said the theory folks about to go crazy, and here they are.
yeah.
Just my
They did that on
God.
purpose.
I can't even get mad at them. Like y'all been, we got teased all of WandaVision.
I said the same
Yeah.
thing. Wolfie.
Episode
I'm like, that's
4,
not
we were
yeah,
like,
Lady Death, Thanos band, Lady Death.
episode
The
4, I was like,
one who prefers Deadpool over Thanos.
Right.
That Lady Death.
Huh? That's just
But what's so crazy? Since he got mentioned, it's like, oh, well, is he gonna be a part of the Witch's Road? Is he gonna? I was like, I'm like, y'all, let it go. They said an
they just
agent
throwing
of
out little pieces
Mephisto.
of bait
Yeah,
and
agent.
reeling y'all back in. That's all that's happening.
Now that
It's
sigil.
throwing out the
Now
bait.
what got my ears perked up is when they asked him, "Who are you?" Like with Sasha is the minute, Jennifer Kale when she asked, "Who are you?" and he said again, that sigil showed up, and when she said, "Oh, there's a sigil," and I'm like, I was right.
And they took a step
Right.
back. Did you peep that?
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
I like that we clarified that it's not just Agatha, that's for everybody.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to confirm, that it wasn't just Agatha that wasn't catching it. No one else is catching it.
Well,
Yeah,
was it just the witches? Because didn't Sharon was gone when that happened, right?
Right.
I think she was. Yeah, I think she was.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we don't know if it's everybody or just witches, but at this point, we know
Well, they did say to keep witches away. So
Okay,
whoever
I'm
he
looking at the
is,
scene right now, and Sharon is missing. So yeah, she was not around to confirm that, but
yeah. So whoever, I'm putting it out there. I'm saying it's Billy Kaplan. The parallels are there. It's
It
the
makes
parallels
sense.
are very there.
Because because at first I was like, it's somehow it's a twisted version of Wiccan. And I'm like, no, it doesn't add up. I was like, but Billy Kaplan, it does fit. I mean, it really does, especially the sigil that she never cracked, which is like, well, I didn't put the sigil on him. Well, somebody doesn't want you're basically hidden from witches. Every other witch wants to figure out why you're here. Agatha doesn't even have a problem with him. I'm like, he's gonna want to.
They were trying to say that it could be Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch, and I'm like, no, because like it's like when the wine scene, she's like, no, you're not drinking. It's not. It's just a part of her maternal instinct kicking in. It's not his mom, okay? Because you see it, like you see her nightmare that shows up when she hears a child crying and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of her maternal instinct kicking in, because it's possibly the only regret she has.
Mm-hmm. Although I'm kind of mad about that Game of Thrones moment. Everybody hit the wine. I'm like, wait a second. Nobody immediately went to the paranoid thing. Like, wine disappeared out of nowhere. It's like, oh, everybody will take a hit.
Except for Mrs. Foreman. She was like,
said she's had a rough day. She almost got eaten by mud. It's been
right.
This is a kidnapping. This is the worst party I've ever been to. Sharon's had
oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm liking what they're doing. These somebody talk to Patty LuPone.
I love her.
That woman is yes. She does not back down. I seen her do like a hot wing, like a hot one thing, and she was talking about, somebody asked her, I can't remember who was interviewing her. It might have been Aubrey Plaza. I can't remember.
It was Aubrey Plaza.
And they were asking her, like, you had said something about Madonna being an actress, blah blah blah. She said, do you want to recant anything? She looked dead in the camera. She's like, either you can apologize or you can eat a spicy wing. She looked dead in the camera, grabbed the wing, and was like, what?
Still, damn.
I just, all I could say was like, oh, I like your energy. I like your energy a lot.
I still want to know what's haunting her, because when she was screaming, we have to save or protect Agatha, I'm like, okay, but who told you that?
Right.
They have some really,
It's like she's having a Professor Trelawney moment when she said that. Like she doesn't even realize she's saying it.
Right. Every time she has those visions, she's not herself. She doesn't realize what's going on. So, but you could tell each one of them has had a moment of clarity that their humanity kicked in.
The only two people we didn't see any like trauma moment for was Mrs. Hart and Teen.
Exactly.
Well, I think
by that time
Hart,
she had passed out by that time.
Oh, she did. She did.
She had a flashback to the first episode of WandaVision, which
she was screaming Wanda. She was screaming Wanda.
Yeah.
Wanda, let him breathe.
Yeah, because I was like, that was like the first inkling of that show that she was in control, and I was like, okay, so confirmed Wanda was choking that man out and didn't realize it, which is why Vision didn't even step in until she told him to.
Pretty much.
And then she just couldn't.
Wanda was in so much grief, but go back, watch those breakdowns of WandaVision.
Yeah, she just kept laughing like and saying stop it, but now we realize, okay, she was stuck in character. She was like really panicking back then.
Yeah. But I like this horror aspect. This is how you get it. Like they've managed. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness had a very good spin on it. What was their other one? The Wolfman. They, Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night,
which was a nice spin. So, but this is the first time I want to say this is the first time where they're really we're going in. We obviously can tell these stories. Let's go. We're going in now. And there's just enough spin on the Harkness character for people to get interested. Because by design, Harkness is just like a secondary, really not even secondary character. She's a little further down the list.
It's funny. I'm watching X-Men Evolution right now, and she's in there as Wanda's handler, and is like the wise old sage for when. But
see, even with X-Men Evolution, the whole dynamic of this, and X-Men Evolution is a great series. It's just the whole evolution of that show, no pun intended, is totally different than
she's
what we're
actually like
used to
the
seeing.
wise old witch. She's like trying to help Wanda get a hold of her, but she actually tries to help people. Where here, like, you can see she was like trying to escape the house the entire time and just leave everyone there.
Yeah, like in that aspect, Scott's in high school along with Jean, but Storm's the headmistress along with Wolverine. So it's like the dynamic is different when it's really it's
in
different.
That show,
not bad. It's just different.
Yeah, in that show, when Rogue tosses her mom off a cliff, Agatha's like surprised. Whereas in this show, she'd probably be impressed.
Right.
Yeah. But
also, with the baby, and they said she traded her son for the Darkhold.
Yep.
Yes.
So does the destroyed Darkhold then reverse that trade? Possibly.
Probably not, because it depends on who she made that trade with.
Again,
and it can't be anybody good.
That's where everybody was like, she must have done it with Mephisto. She must have done it with Mephisto. I was like, oh dear God, you people are a cult.
I'm like, but I mean, if there was a middleman who has access to him that maybe took the baby, but even then, I'm like,
oh no,
okay.
If I know a deal has been made, yes. Does that revert the deal? Not for something like that. It doesn't. Nope.
Who is the white man dressed like a segregation era barber that was choking an old girl out in the water?
See,
that's what I'm waiting to see.
Anybody remember the remake of The House on Haunted Hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy is giving me the feel of one of the ghosts in that movie.
Oh.
It's weird. Like the whole scene looked like the asylum. I know they're probably in no way, shape, or form connected. It just looked like that to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always watched.
Yeah.
I've always watched Shazira Zamita when she was on SNL, and she's always been on my radar.
Yeah,
she's always been on my radar, and this Jennifer Kale role she's taking on. I'm like, okay, and the way they're going through these trials, like this one had to been hers. You got to make this potion. You got to make this potion. Yeah, and the fact that you may not have your powers, and like Agatha said, you don't have your powers, but you have your knowledge. You know this.
I hate you.
When
she said, I hate you, but she's like, is this your version of a pep talk right now?
Right.
It kind of was.
Right.
Go ahead, Whoopty.
What would they have done if they couldn't take Teen on the road? Because if one of the ingredients was the blood of the unpoisoned, what if it was just the women?
They would have been screwed. Yeah, they would have been screwed.
They've been screwed.
I mean, this could have been what the sigil was about, was keeping people like him from this specific reason.
Yeah.
Thank you for being underage.
It was a happy accident that he was there.
Right.
Also, he got weirdly bold for a second there when he was like trying to demand Agatha drink the wine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not the only time he stepped up. He did it like when they were looking for the coven. He did it then. He had a step up moment. He knew how to, let me help you talk these people in to joining, and then he kind of reverts back after he has his moment. So, but yeah, there's these moments, and I'm liking how they're addressing them, because each one of them have to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And address whatever that episode is, and seeing Jennifer Kale just like literally start to freak out, and can't figure out, like, I don't know, I've never made this before. And that's when Agatha says, hold on, look here. There's a reason why. I was just like, I don't like you, but I don't mess with you, basically because you know your shit. So
okay, so is the Book of the Damned and the Darkhold two different things, or is that just same name? Okay,
same name. They different name for it.
Traded her kid not for the Darkhold, but for the Book of the Damned is what it was, and I'm curious if what even happened with that.
I'm assuming her kid's gonna pop up.
You said what?
I'm assuming her kid's gonna pop up somewhere. I'm sorry, Whoopi, go ahead.
I was like, but wasn't that the Darkhold in the crib though?
Yes, it was. It was
Yes.
the vision of it, implying
Pardon?
that traded my kid for this book
Mhm.
that I no longer own.
Yeah, because the Darko got destroyed, but they said it's the Book of the Damned that she traded him or her son for. So I'm curious if one is still around.
Oh, you know what they say? Even the guy who was in the library when in the first episode, when he says, "Oh yeah, every copy was destroyed."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But Agatha never said she lost it,
Yeah,
so
And
that's
it makes
also another thing.
And then the kid saying, you know, a lot happened to me at 13 too. I'm just like, what are we alluding to here?
I thought that was
13.
what told us.
Billy Kaplan has
Yeah.
been through a lot of stuff around that age.
Hmm.
In that
Today's
number. I've already deduced that this has got to be Billy Kaplan because let's face it, you have Vision Quest moving forward.
Mhm.
This will be the second spinoff from WandaVision. There's rumors of a third.
Mm-hmm.
I would be highly impressed if it's dealing with Wanda's kids, which means you have to deal with Wanda.
Yep.
It's always going to be there. Elizabeth Olsen has gone on record saying, if the story is good, I want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find it that easy. Like, this is how you one off her. I don't see that.
Again, she didn't die. She did not die in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
She didn't die.
At least we didn't see a body.
We didn't see it. Right.
We didn't
It's not
see
a body. You didn't see it.
And even the body that Agatha was seeing wasn't there.
Although I love the fact they said the dark hole is destroyed. I'm like, well, the dark hole cannot be destroyed. It's assumed it can be, but it always pops up in another form somewhere else.
Yeah.
And again,
like Strange said she destroyed every version of it in the multiverse.
Yeah.
Did she? No.
Did she really destroy it or did she consolidate it?
Did she think she did? You know, like there's a lot of
Either way, you know, that's what makes me think at the end of all this, because I have a feeling Agatha is the Agatha, and we already saw Sharon didn't make it, but you know, it's like the cast Survivor. There's gonna be some other ones getting knocked off on the way there.
I seen it and I was kind of disappointed, but I was like, okay. I was like, oh man, not Mrs. Foreman.
I'm still confused on what happened.
So when they did that potion, one, she's not part of the coven. Two,
Right.
when they did that potion, they had to put a strand of hair in, and they didn't have hers.
Yeah.
Okay, I figure because I'm like, she looks almost like she drowned. I'm like, I know for a fact she didn't. So I'm like, which part of the clock running out did she not make it in? And I did peep the hair that they just forgot about her on the table.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, by the time it was all said and done, even if they did need her hair, she's not part of the coven. It doesn't matter.
Wouldn't work anyway.
Yeah. So it was kind of like this is it. And they was the state, and these were the stages. They were saying the hallucinations, the swelling, hallucinations, then the dizziness and loss of your extremities, and then death.
Right.
I still
By the
see
time they
rumors.
probably tracked her down to Evan, she was probably gone already.
Yeah.
Because
they said
she
it was like how somebody so little.
Everybody else.
Yeah.
Like progression of what was going on. She was at least 15 minutes ahead of everybody else. 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was like, she's so little. Why is she so heavy? Because she's gone.
Yeah.
She's dead weight, literally. So
Even when they forced Agatha to drink the wine, they're like, why can't he do it? He's like, he's technically not part of this coven, but he still put a hair in. So I guess there are technicalities here they got to follow.
I think that sigil protected him.
Yeah, not only that, he's been saying he knows some things about magic. He wants to learn some things about magic, and he hasn't been, to the casual viewer. Oh, he just wants to learn more about magic. What if the thing he wants the most? Who could show him? Yeah, he knows about Agatha, but who's better than Agatha?
Mm-hmm.
His mama.
Yeah.
If that's his mama, I'm just gonna say that. If that's his mama. But it would be Wanda, because they even said Wanda doesn't need, what was it? She doesn't need something that normal witches would have to use. Like Wanda, and you're right, Wanda learned those spells. She didn't have to read the Darkhold. She wanted to. She was in a desperation mode. She didn't have to do the Darkhold. She's just like, I want my kids back. I don't see another option right now.
And she did it out of greed.
This was 616 Wanda?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 616 Wanda. Yeah. And I'm just like, we're not seeing the face. We're not really seeing a body, because Agatha's the only one who's seeing quote unquote body. Because remember, she went to the coroner's office and she didn't see one, and all of a sudden it shows up.
Right. This goes to show you. Also, again, shout out to the horror actor. Nothing like facing your worst fears on the 3rd episode.
I like
it. Yeah, and then people were saying when the toe tag turned into a like a checkout list, that could possibly all be the previous holders of the book, and it stopped with her because of the Doctor Strange movie.
Could be
possible.
But I tell you this much: what this series is going to do is the same thing that WandaVision did for Age of Ultron. It's going to cause people to go back and watch it.
Have you ever heard the Ship of Theseus? It'll always be stuck in my head from WandaVision.
That is still a bar. To sit. I'm like, you two sons of bitches, stop fighting to have a whole theological discussion. How to break this down. So
he's gonna get his life story told to him by Ultron from like a 1 gig standard flash drive or something.
I can see that. Would it be messed up if Ultron did, just see James Spader come out of nowhere and literally give a monologue on how you got here? How I met your mother?
And the fact that he's actually coming back.
That would be interesting.
He's coming back, so
telling you, Ultron will just be there, and it's like, I'm keeping you off the grid, so you'll be talking to me from a Commodore 64.
Dang.
Have you plugged into a Nintendo? Those are the only two. Go ahead.
About what I just asked about maybe Patti LuPone's character being one of the Medici. So who's the 400-year-old witch? Is it
she's 400.
Kale?
She's like, they're actually all in it. So
she just implied that she was over 450, right?
Yeah.
Patty. They never gave her how old she may have been. Okay.
Yeah, it's just when Agatha said it, she was like an insult. She was like, you don't look a day over 415, I think she said, like something like that. So she just implied that they obviously know of each other. They just stay out of each other's way.
Right.
And they just view Agatha as like, she's basically the worst of us. Like she's the worst of us.
I think they all are centuries old, because even when they were drinking wine and having the round table talk about, like, we all get a bad rep. I blame Halloween. Like, would you see a pointy hat at this table?
Do you see green skin? Do you see broomsticks? The last time I wrote something like that, it's like, whoa. I was like, Mrs. Foreman, this is a family show.
Miss Foreman got loose with the wine, boy.
The last time I wrote something that hard, whoa. Hang on, Mrs. Foreman.
There's a child present. No.
She's with her husband now.
Man.
So it's I hate that. I don't hate it. It sucks that they kind of bumped her off. But at which point, with her being on the road, what more did her character serve? Other than Agatha avoiding actually getting the Green Witch.
Cannon fodder.
So it was just like, she was like, I need to get down here. Screw it.
This is why I say place your bets. Who makes it to the end?
Right, and clearly how fast she was trying to just abandon everyone, even though you can't make it to the end of the road clearly without them. I'm waiting to see when she finally gets it that you can't just dip on everybody.
Right.
Right.
And then what was Do we even know what was haunting Patti LuPone in that one scene with the skull person and the zombie dude, and then her speaking in whatever?
It was something Victorian.
Right.
Okay.
It was something Victorian because she's seen a young girl and you muted Whoopi.
I got it. That's why I mentioned the Medici, because they're it's a little bit older. It's giving me Anne Boleyn.
Yeah.
She was speaking Italian, so I just kind of assumed who's a large Italian family that was probably rich back in the day, the Medici.
I'm curious if one of those things she saw, or one of them are the things haunting her that's making her shout that stuff all the time.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because it seems that when you, let's face it, I've watched the first 2 episodes 3 times each already, just for details and everything, and then the song, of course. And so, like, I'm invested. I was already invested. So now it's just like, okay, let me go back. Let's watch this episode again, and like kind of start going through it, you know, because even they didn't, like, it's a nice house, don't know what's up with it,
right?
You know, so
yeah,
you know, why is Jennifer Kale's skincare products here? Like, of all things, like, nobody else has their stuff here at all, just hers, you know. So it makes you wonder about a couple things. So
the paranoid level is not high enough. It's like nobody has questions.
So on that note,
wrap-up protocol initiated, Captain.